Hell yeah.
I want to talk to you guys about this thing. Got this from Amazon actually. It's a $20 pedal. It's basically a vintage overdrive, which I think they tried to do a TS9. I actually had this drop shipped. Special request for sure, because it was a limited time kind of edition item that AMM Mods was doing over there at AMM Amplified. And he was modding these vintage overdrives to basically be a boutique pedal. So I was stoked to check this out because I know Greg from Angry Tones did a review on this on his YouTube channel. I was like, damn, that sounds really damn good. So thought I'd reach out to him to see if he would be interested in me checking it out. So I bought the pedal, had it drop shipped to him. I had to do the Amazon Prime, so I got that for free basically for the shipping. It's about 80 bucks to have him mod it, and then he ships it back to you, and it's for free if it's in lower 50 states of the United States. You guys should check this thing out because we're gonna jam on this thing. Let's do it.
Welcome back to the show. Today we have got Amazon Vintage Overdrive pedal, and it's just, you know, one of those 20-buck ones, and it actually does pretty good for what it is. I think they tried to do a TS9 on this guy, and it's in that small form factor. Today what I wanted to do is a little bit of a budget amp situation, stuff that you can do with some budget stuff and get some actual killer tones with this stuff, especially if you go ahead and send this pedal over to AMM Mods and get it modified. Dude, it is killer. This is a amp. I don't have too much on this channel. I usually just have it at the house so I can just jam on it over at the house. I put a resonance mod on this thing too, so it would just actually be just a much bigger sounding amp at lower volumes. You could probably get this Bugera for what? Maybe around 300 bucks or so. And it'll be like the head version and all that kind of stuff. I mean, on the used market. I think these went for like $500-600 when they first came out. And sure, probably the reliability's not that great, but I've not had any problems, and I've pushed this pretty loud. So it's basically a 6505 knockoff. But I tell you what, with this freaking pedal, man, it's a go-to for sure. And what we're gonna do is we're not gonna compare. I don't have this on right now. What we'll do is we'll jam on this one, and then we'll go over to the Mesa and then jam on it with this pedal as well, just so you guys can get a reference of a budget situation compared to badass Mesa triple rec amp, right? These are great for TS9 kind of circuits, but since this is basically a boutique pedal now, we can try it through this and see how that sounds. These, you know, with this amp, and you know, I've got P30s and triple X's and cross pattern. I like the triple X's, it's kind of my thing. With this setup, it is freaking killer. All right, so let's get to some tones. So first I'll start off with just the basic tones of this Bugera, right? Pretty flubby. It's almost into that metal territory. Now, I could totally use it for metal and all that stuff, but I absolutely love this amp for sure. And it's a lot thicker because I got the resonance mod on there too. Now, I had already pushed the bass up. The mids are halfway, the treble's halfway, and as well as the presence, and it is in the lead channel here. So this is basically what it sounds like, you know, stock. So just totally passable. Now, with this pedal, I have the drive around 9 o'clock, and then the volume at noon, and I usually like the tone to be around 2 o'clock or so, just to kind of give it that extra little bit of bite. But let's turn that on and see what that sounds like. So first the amp. Couple chugs there, right? With the pedal. Dude. and then without it. Now, I do want to say that I also have in the bridge pickup here one of the Bellcat made BC Rich bridges. I did have a bare knuckle polymath in here, which was an absolutely killer pickup. But I thought I'd pick up this guitar since I went ahead and put the Bellcat BC Riches in there to kind of go along with the budget rig kind of situation. And dude, I have to say I do like these pickups as well. Particularly, but with this rig, it is killer, dude. And with the pedal back on. Dude, those chugs, man. Now let's go ahead and mess with the amp a little bit just to see if we can get a little more out of it, right? Bring down the mids a little bit. A little more treble, right? Let's go more bass because we're hitting it with a pedal here. Presence up. Ah, there we go. Now it sounds alive. And then I found with these kind of pedals, you can tweak it back and then get the natural bass response. So if you put it around 9 o'clock or so, it kind of doesn't taper off that the low end there. Damn, dude. All right, let's just see how far this pedal can go, right? Let's push the volume first off. I'm gonna put the tone back at the middle. I'm gonna drop the drive. Let's see what that sounds like there. Dude, that sounds awesome. Very natural sounding. Now, you guys know me on this channel. I've played a bunch of different rigs, and this stacks up, dude. This definitely stacks up. I would totally use this. If this is all I had, wouldn't have a problem. It's very inspiring. That's the big thing about this. It needs to be inspiring, right? Let's go ahead and push the drive. Let's put that up to 9 o'clock with the volume all the way up. Ah, see, now it's starting to get a little more crunchy. But still very articulate. But you kind of hear it has that little bit of like, it's saturation, but it's not annoying. It's just articulate, you know? All right, let's gun this whole thing, right? Let's just go all the way up with it. Let's just see what it sounds like. That's exactly what I thought it would be. Not something I would do, but maybe for the amp. Let's say if I drop the gain on this to 3 o'clock. It's probably still not something I'd do. Let's bring the tone back over to 2 o'clock. I'll bring the volume back. Now let's see what that sounds like with the drive all the way up. Oh, okay, so now it's thicker. The drive will thicken up the sound. If you want more, it's not flubby, but it's just kind of a wider sound. If you use the drive and push that up a little bit more, it's kind of like pushing the preamp tubes more. It's kind of sludgy sounding. That's what it sounds like to me. So let's go to 3 o'clock for that. All right, and then halfway. And now mind you, I have the gain all the way down, so you're hearing a lot of the pedal right now. It almost gets into HM2 kind of sound territory, but not quite. Let's go ahead and put everything at noon and just see what it does. Anyways, let's go ahead and go over to the Mesa and see what that sounds like, right? Let's do it. Okay, now we're back. I got this hooked up. I took this off of the Mesa Boogie triple rec. I have it in channel 2 and on the vintage mode. It's my favorite mode. And I think a lot of people like that one too. We will go to the modern after we mess with the vintage and just see what we can do. I know a lot of people like the modern mode on it as well. Personally, I don't even mess with channel 3 because channel 2 does everything I ever needed for Mesa anyways. So let's see what this sounds like. And I know you guys can't see the knobs because it's shiny. I have everything basically at noon. Yeah, I have to make sure myself too. So this is what it sounds like. So typical Mesa fashion, it's got that really big bottom end, and with the gain about halfway, you know, it's a really good like rock and roll, like great for that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that's what it sounds like. Now I got everything at noon for the pedal. Let's go ahead and turn that on, see what that sounds like. Okay, so obviously this isn't the settings that anyone would dial this amp into, and I have my own particular settings that I like to do. And even with the pedal, I wouldn't go noon for this thing at all. Let's go ahead and start dialing this in. First, we'll start dialing in the amp. I like to bring presence down, but turn up the treble a little bit. There we go. And turn down the mids. I see, it's starting to sound like a real Mesa. It is a real Mesa, but you know. And then I like to push the bass because we're pumping it with a overdrive in front of it. See, there it is. Now let's go ahead and tweak the pedal. I like to have my drive around 9 o'clock and then boost the volume to about 2 o'clock or so, and as well as the tone. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh yeah, that's it. Probably give it a little more trouble. There it is. let's go ahead and boost the volume all the way up. Oh, even better, dude. Yeah. Dude, this pedal, man. Thank you, Andrew. And from this point, I probably want a little more bass. And probably, anyways. Probably for a little more clarity, I'll bring in a little bit more mids. Dude, that's the tone right there. That's killer. Dude, that is freaking awesome. Okay, now let's go over to the modern mode and see what that does with those settings. I know I'm gonna have to turn the master down. Let's just turn all the way down. And we're in modern now. Make sure I'm not clipping. Whoa! Yeah, the modern mode definitely has more bass to it for sure. But you see how fizzy that got? It's like a totally different animal to dial in. Had to push the mids more. You know what's funny is the modern mode, the presence is like backwards. So if I have it all the way up, this is what it sounds like. But if I have it all the way down, do you kind of hear that? All the way up, and then all the way down. That's so weird. But from what I've heard or seen, all mesas do that. I don't know if that's a thing. But I like it all the way up. This may sound a little fizzy on the DAW. I can't really tell. It's a little funny to dial in. So there you go. Here's the pedal. Guys, definitely reach out to Andrew at AMM Mods. I'll go ahead and put the details section, all the things you need to know about this to go ahead and get this. He was just doing this for a limited time edition, but I think if you go through and reach out to him, he'll probably get something like this for you going. It's a really killer deal to have a boutique pedal for just under 100 bucks. I mean, come on. So playing it through these two, and even with a budget kind of situation, I absolutely loved it. Playing through the rectifier was freaking awesome too, just so you guys can get a reference of something that you guys are typically used to. Go ahead and get it, man. Drop ship it out to him. This pedal's 20 bucks, and then about 80 bucks or so, he can get it done and shipped to you. All right? If you guys got any questions, hit me up. DMV out.